What it is. Whoa, big news, finally. Big news right now. I'm on top of it. It happened less than an hour ago, I think. We are nearing the deadline of the ceasefire. We were very close. The taco was loading almost all day. The taco came bigly right at the last minute, actually after markets closed. So Trump is about to speak. I'm going to cover that. We'll get people tuned in. Let's go live on this. He is about to deliver remarks to the NCAA Collegiate National Champions. We are awaiting a response. Come on, this is breaking news. Thank you for being first, for God's sake. I didn't give any preemptive warning. Now we have 2 people tuned in. That's good. Taco Tuesday. Oh, it is Taco Tuesday. Once again, on a Tuesday. He tacoed 2 Tuesdays ago. Bigly. So he just tacoed again. We are watching the reaction from markets, which have been extremely volatile, both oil and stocks. And right now, it's the last 15 minutes of after hours trading before markets close for an hour. And then evening trading will start up again at 3 p.m. And we will see what happens. If Iran, so you guys will have to help me watch the news. I'm not as good as Steve Lookner of what's it called? No Agenda TV at tracking, because I don't get immediate updates on things, and I don't follow Trump on Truth Social. I don't have that account active. So I don't automatically get the tweets or the truths that move markets. Let's look at oil. But I can watch markets and see what happens. Then I know if something else happened. We'll find out if somebody shorted oil or went long the stock market right before his tweet. We have had a lot of insider trading. It appears a lot of insider trading based around Trump's truths, which his government is not really going to look into, most likely. We have, I believe, 2 hours and 15 minutes until Iran thinks the ceasefire is over. Trump kind of extended it because he declared a 2-week ceasefire on a Tuesday, and it's been 2 weeks. So technically it is over. Iran said it's over at 12 midnight GMT, which I believe is I believe they're 8 hours ahead of me. GMT, that's like London time, I think. Let's see. GMT. Let's see what time it is. It is time now in GMT. Let's see. It is 8:46 p.m. only. Zulu. It's called Zulu in the military, I guess. Zulu time. It is 8:46 p.m. So we are 3 hours and 15 minutes, or 13 to be technical, from the expiration, according to the Iranians, of the original ceasefire. If the Iranians don't agree, then all hell is about to break loose tomorrow, and we may finally see that crash in stocks that I've been speculating about. So far, everyone was ready pretty much for a taco today. We are still very close to all-time highs in the stock market. Very, very, very close to all-time highs. Because everybody expected a deal. Everybody expected a deal and the war to be over. That is not what we just got. Do you want me to read you the Truth Social post? We did not get an end to the war. We got an indefinite postponement from our side only. And we had, well, it's just been classic lying from Trump for the last 2 weeks or so. Just constant, with help from American media who kept saying, including Axios today, that said the Ayatollah approved talks in Islamabad that were supposed to happen today. Trump said talks would happen Thursday. He said talks would happen Sunday. He said talks would be happening today. Some people said Trump or somebody else said JD Vance was on his way yesterday. Reports were that the Iranian delegation was on the ground in Islamabad today and that Iranians were there today. None of it's true. Now they say the Iranians did what they said they were going to do and didn't show up because of unreasonable demands from the Americans and, most importantly, the blockade, which continues now indefinitely. So it's not good. It's not good for the global economy because the Strait of Hormuz is not opening. That's what people were expecting, was the war to be over and the Strait of Hormuz to open again. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, and now it's closed indefinitely. There's no mention of that. So I'll read you the Truth Social post. And if you guys can help me, actually, I'll know if news breaks from the Iranian side because I'll just watch the charts on futures. Although between 2 and 3 p.m. my time, which is in 10 minutes, I won't know because there will be no trading. So I'll be flying blind. But we should be expecting to get an answer from the Iranians shortly. And if they say that they disagree with extending the ceasefire, which is what they should do, in my opinion, then all hell is going to break loose still tomorrow. And they'll start firing at American ships, which they've been refraining from doing this whole time. So I'll show you the Truth Social post. Share screen. This is the Truth Social post that just dropped, yes, less than an hour ago, 4:09 p.m. Eastern. Statement of President Donald J. Trump. Based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir, the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and, in all other respects, remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. So it's a big L for Trump, who said a million times that they had already agreed to everything. Friday, I haven't been on the show since Friday, but it's been so ridiculous with everything, like all the manipulation. Trump sent out about 7 Truth Social posts on Friday after Iran opened the Strait of Hormuz for like 5 minutes. He's put out a string of Truth Social posts that were all so far untrue, including that the Strait of Hormuz would never be closed again. He said it was closed again almost immediately before the end of the day. It was closed again and remains closed completely. He said that Iran had agreed to turn over its nuclear material and not enrich entirely, which is not true, obviously. What else did he claim? He said he's not giving him any money, which is true, but they're not going to give him anything either in that case. He said because it was proposed that there was a deal to unfreeze their funds, which was supposed to be done before the last meeting, which is that they were going to unfreeze like $7 billion of Iranian funds. And now it's up to $20 billion. That was the latest proposal reported by some Israeli. Listen, the news, like Hodad's, like LM Barker says, I don't know what's happening. Fog of war on steroids. I don't blame you. The news reported the Iranians kept saying when they said something, look at the fly. I'm like, who got the fly on him? Mike Pence? The Iranians kept saying they're not going to go to the negotiations as long as the blockade is going on. They kept saying that. And I was like, okay. I went long oil on Friday and I shorted the stock market yesterday. And I was like, okay, they're not going to go to the negotiations. Then the news came out. Axios said the supreme leader approved them to go to the negotiations. They're definitely going to the negotiations. This is after Galibaf himself said he's not going to negotiate with us as long as we have a blockade amongst and unreasonable demands. And so that's the truth in the end, is that they didn't show up. And JD Vance is still in America. Witkoff, Kushner are still in America. Nobody ever went there, but you'd be forgiven for believing one of the many, many stories that sourced Pakistani insiders. They said Iranian officials said they were going to this meeting. Meanwhile, the public statements from the figures involved were that they weren't going to go to the meeting. So I was like, okay, they're not going to go to the meeting. So if this whole stock market pump and everything is based on there being a deal, I don't think there's going to be a deal. That's why I said to myself, turns out there's no deal. Trump is about to speak. So he's about to speak at this. I have it here. I have this screen up. This is the White House feed. He's about to speak to the basketball, the winners of March Madness, the NCAA collegiate national champions. But we're going to have to assume he's going to mention what just happened. We have to assume, or something, or people are going to ask him about it. Let's see. I can show you some of the volatility in the stock market and the oil market as we are about to close after hours trading for 1 hour. And then, I won't know what happens. So this is kind of what happened, is the stock market went up. I was in disbelief. I've been in disbelief for a long time because it's been clear to me for a long time that Trump is not going to make a deal. It's been very clear. Trump won't make a deal. He's not going to end the blockade. He's not going to give them money. He's not going to do anything until he suffers a lot more. He hasn't suffered nearly enough to capitulate on anything, literally anything, in my opinion. And Iran also is not willing to capitulate, although they went a lot further than I thought they ever would by opening the strait for a second, even though there was never, just for a ceasefire in Lebanon, which there never was. And then, I guess, pretending that they were going to go to talks, although they never really did. But here at the end of the day is when things got crazy. Stock market tried to go green and then suddenly dropped about 0.5%. Then Trump tweeted and it suddenly rose about 0.5%, but you can see it's not extending gains after that. It's still going to be, this is the NASDAQ or tech futures. The market's closed down. The Dow closed down 300 points. The S&P closed down 45 points. But his tweet came out after market close, and then they erased most of that loss. Briefly, oil did kind of the same thing in reverse, but it's back over $90. So oil did the same thing, pumped to a high of the day, gave it all back after Trump's tweet, and then people realized, oh, wait, hold on. Holy shit, that was loud. Trump's about to speak. And now oil is rising again. Oil's up over $90, up 3.5% on the day. And this news is very, very bad news for the global economy because Trump didn't say anything about the Strait of Hormuz being open, which is the most important thing. So anyway, I would buy oil, but when you can, or buy coal. Told you it was loud.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Let's see what he says.
Please sit down.
I advanced it.
Like this, right? The White House. Coach, what do you think? Pretty good, right? You meet all these golfers over here. I said, what are your handicaps? +4. I say +4, +5 even. That's good stuff. He actually said higher than that. I said, you got to be kidding me, right? That's great. Great. Congratulations. Great team. I heard about the team. And I heard about all the teams this afternoon. We're joined by not one, not two, but 7 collegiate championship winning teams from all across the country. Champions, every one of them. And these are student athletes that have demonstrated remarkable talent and discipline. And we're born a little bit lucky with talent because I'm not sure, Coach. I'm not sure. I look at all these great coaches that have these records, 40-1.
It's going to be boring.
37-2.
It's going to be about
good records, but
basketball for a minute.
We're hoping have to have a little something very special because what you
we're hoping that he talks about Iran. Special. I don't know how he'll get around it. Maybe he won't mention it.
A very, very incredible place.
I'll turn it down because I'm sure I don't think anybody's tuned in to listen to hear him about that. I'll refresh Twitter a few times.
Very amazing people. Among those joining us this afternoon are the 2025 Division I men's golf champions. Why don't you stand up when I introduce you for a second? You got all the fake news back there. So, yeah.
Iran made a final decision not to attend talks. Oh, here we go.
They're going to treat you better than they treat me. And that's Oklahoma State Cowboys. And I just
an advisor to an advisor to Galaboff says Trump's ceasefire extension means nothing. The losing side cannot dictate terms.
Consistency, grit, and precision all season long, led by head coach Alan Bratton. Alan, unbelievable. The Cowboys
The
dominated throughout the spring, captured
continuation of the siege is no different from bombardment and must be met with a military response.
very proud and
Moreover, Trump's ceasefire extension is certainly a ploy to buy time for a surprise strike. The time for Iran to take the initiative has come. So that's not official, but he's a strategic advisor to Ghalibaf and says they're about to strike. Iran is, which is what they should do to not appear weak.
Joining us as well are the
It's not a ceasefire right now. It's not a ceasefire because we're doing a blockade.
Thank you. Good. Stand up.
We didn't, and there's still war in Lebanon. Israel's not withdrawing from Lebanon or anything. So the conditions weren't met for Iran to agree to a ceasefire. So it's kind of never been a ceasefire.
Serve to the final point of the national championship. The Aggies played with heart and determination.
So it looks like we might be headed to war super soon.
Dominated the tournament, sweeping
3 hours.
Why were they top seeded? What's going on? What's going on? I don't like that.
3 hours from now, the ceasefire officially ends.
First ever national title. Kendall Stowers was in
Markets are closed. After hours, markets are closed. Oil was up 3.5%, over $90 WTI.
A real powerhouse and champion, and senior opposite hitter Logan Lednicki delivered 11 kills against Kentucky.
Iran's threats include shutting down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which shuts down the Red Sea.
Pretty good, let me tell you.
That'll mean 32% of oil and tons of goods and everything will be offline. They threatened to hit the Saudi oil pipeline. They threatened to destroy the Gulf states, basically. If they follow through on any of those, global catastrophe.
How's your golf team doing? I don't know. They're pretty good, right? They're pretty good too. But they battled
Oil
fierce.
will go up
DK
a lot.
Suresh delivered the
It's really cheap right now, all things considered.
In the final, and I want to congratulate you, and I see you right there. I said, who's the best player of the team? And they all pointed to him. Right. So
We have a setup
and, that's really incredible, DK, what you've done. You had a great year.
for something very serious to happen in global markets.
You know, Arnold Palmer was a great friend of mine.
Everyone pretty much, no one is ready for a crash. Everyone is only ready for more pumping. This taco wasn't a real good taco.
I've been there.
Well, because Iran didn't agree to anything.
25 NCAA women's tennis champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, who just captured their third national titles. Stand up, please. Right. Sophia Rojas sealed this team's.
So let's see what happens.
First set before roaring back to dominate.
We're going to see
Georgia's sweep over the team from Texas.
if
All I can say is go Bulldogs. It's a great state. I love
he says something about Iran.
well there too.
And then I could report on the news, but it's all old news now. We are now into the final hours of everything.
Great job. That's not easy. Winning in tennis.
Trump said this morning he was going to bomb them, most likely.
Not quite at that level. Not quite. But that's a great thing. Congratulations. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
I just have to tell you how fake the news has been and how unreliable Trump has been in particular.
Beautiful jacket. The Youngstown State Penguins, you know, the jacket.
Strait of Hormuz is now closed indefinitely.
The jacket's been x-rayed, gone over by Secret Service at a level that doesn't look the same. It just doesn't. They've gone over it to levels that you wouldn't believe. But I want to thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob Ross, Antichrist. Hey, Nate, always a joy to see on you. I just found out my partner cheated on me. Just had to say it out loud. Also, can you turn up the propaganda? Sure, I'll turn it up. It's just basketball.
All-American, and that's a big thing to be named first team All-American.
Sorry, your partner
what would you
cheated on
average in
you.
Bowling, Madison? 208. That's fantastic, man. That's great. So congratulations.
Sorry, Bob.
It's not easy bowling. I've tried it.
Did you break up with them, or are you giving him another chance?
It's very difficult. Actually, it's very difficult. And it's supposed to be one of
I
the
don't
best
know what
teams
the
in
right
many
thing to
years
do
beyond
is.
everything else. So thank you very much.
Because
Congratulations
cheating,
for being here.
doesn't
at the White House.
necessarily
Thank you.
mean they don't like you. Necessarily.
And we're also proud to recognize the 2025 NCAA Women's Soccer Champions,
Did they have a
the
child
Florida
with anyone
State
else?
Seminoles.
And
They
thanks,
just clinched their 5th national title and back-to-back championships for the 2nd time in the program history. That's amazing. Sophomore midfielder Peyton McGovern had an
thanks
impressive season.
to
Where's
Pirate
Peyton?
Justins for saying Happy Taco Tuesday.
That's great, huh?
Yes, it's a
Are you that
taco
good?
today.
Are you going to turn pro? I
We're
think
seeing if
so.
he says anything about
I
Iran.
have a feeling. Finding herself in the starting lineup for 18 games, it was ultimately named the 2025 All-Tournament Team. And senior
Just remember,
defender Claire Rain earned her 2nd national
no
title.
mention of Strait of
FSU, and
Hormuz being opened
congratulations to
equals
all of you.
bad.
Congratulations. It's a fantastic
Very
job.
bad.
Thank you very much. Really amazing.
No ceasefire,
Great
no
school.
peace deal.
Finally, we have the
Very bad.
2025 National Collegiate
Everybody was
Mixed
expecting a
Rifle
peace deal.
Champions, the West Virginia Mountaineers, 51 points.
There's no deal. No deal on the horizon. Everything
Susie
Trump said
Wood
was fake,
dominated West Virginia,
etc.
maybe even more than you dominated the rifle world, Coach. I don't know, but I love that state. That state is the greatest. It's such an incredible group of people. And think of it, for their 20th national shooting title, and the coach was there for all of them or most of them, all of them, just about all of them.
Flies bother me.
That's amazing, and I just want to congratulate you. West Virginia's.
I don't know if they're going to be able to
It's a
ask him
great
questions
place.
about
It's a
the
great
war or
state. So
not.
many friends there. We've been there a lot. You know, when you win it by 45 points or something like that, maybe more, you like to sort of say, I love that state. And they like me, I guess. I can't imagine why. But for you to win, that's I know how difficult it is. So congratulations to all very much. This was the school's record as the #1 most winning program in collegiate rifle history. So you have the #1 school in rifle history. Congratulations. It's an amazing, amazing accomplishment. So college sports are among America's most cherished institutions, a tradition where lessons learned on the playing field shape the character of winners. And you are winners. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. The athletes here today represent the very best of that grit and determination and teamwork. That's why under my administration, we're fighting hard to save college sports. What's happening is crazy. It's crazy. And what we want to do is help athletes, or like all of you in this room. And as soon as I took office, I ended a terrible injustice and banned men from competing in women's sports. I don't know if anybody agrees. Does anybody agree with that? That men should be able to play in women's sports? Would you like to raise your hand? Well, so far I have never found anybody, but they say it's an 80-20 issue, but I've never been able to find anybody. So I think it's a 99-1. Maybe it's a little bit more than that, Coach, right? Maybe it's 100-0. I campaiged on that one
Are
all the
laughing
time. I said, there will
nervously.
be no men in women's sports, and people would go crazy. But I mean, but you're politically correct. So earlier this month, I signed an executive order to implement a number of key reforms protecting programs like yours, which don't always get the top headlines, but are crucial to strengthening years and years of education and sports and the ability to compete and to win, which we need very much. We now have, thanks to a wonderful decision in the Supreme Court, we're a country that's again based on merit. In other words, if you're the best shooter, you're the best shooter. If you're the best golfer, you're the best golfer. And all of these things are very important to stop the pay for play schemes that only benefit
Bob,
the
when you
largest
said
programs.
partner, is it
We
because
will
you're
only
gay?
allow one no
Just
penalty
curious.
transfer
Everyone's wondering.
through the transfer portal.
Because if
I
a
think
gay guy
most of the
cheated on you,
people
that's
here know
probably
what
pretty
that means.
normal, from what I
You had some
understand.
people going to 3, 4
maybe
different,
not such a
it's
big
like
deal.
They became like monopoly
I
players.
know people
and
are saying
to
never
ensure
take a
room
cheater
for
back,
the
but
new talent, we're also instituting a 5-year eligibility cap for college players, because students right out of high school should not have to compete against players that are 28 or 29 years old who decide they can make more money
maybe that's the right
staying in
thing.
college than they can by going into the professional
Oh, you're
leagues,
straight?
which is
Your girl
pretty
cheated on you?
ridiculous.
That's not good.
It's a
Girls don't
very,
normally do that.
Very precarious position that
That
the courts
sucks.
have left us in, because we had great college sports, and the person a judge decided.
You said
who was not
partner,
a
which is kind of gay.
person
That's
that
all.
knew much about sports, actually, I think knew nothing about sports, decided that the whole thing was unconstitutional. For over 100 years, they developed these programs, a lot of scholarships, a lot of great things happening. And now it's a total and complete mess. But we're going to get it fixed up, and we've got some fantastic people doing it. So we need now Congress to act to clear up the confusion created by the courts and institute permanent reform.
They're refunding
on
tariffs.
sports at every level.
Remember, you were going to get a
And,
check for
especially
tariffs.
some
People are
sports.
talking
And
about this.
Frankly, you know, a lot of the emphasis is
We were
on
gonna
football,
get
but football's now
$2,000
destroying
each,
the
or was it
colleges
$1,200
economically.
each
They're
from
being
tariff
paid so
refunds?
much at the colleges, they're
Actually,
losing
just
so
the
much money,
corporations
it's
are going to get them,
unsustainable.
which it
So
makes
in recent
sense,
weeks, the
but
White House has convened many of the most
there's no
respected
way to
sports
refund them
figures
directly to people
and
because you have no
commissioners
idea
in
how
the
much people
nation. We had
paid.
all of them
But
here, just about all of the top
people are
people,
upset about it.
64 of them, including Nick
Makes
Saban,
sense
who
because
owns
now
one of the
there's new
greatest coaches
tariffs,
ever.
so we'll never get the money back.
Randy
I
Levine,
think
the head of the New
Costco
York
said that
Yankees,
they're going
Bryson
to
DeChambeau, a rather good
reduce
golfer,
prices
pretty
though
good coach, pretty
accordingly.
good team even, right?
So
You've got to
Costco's a
know
good
that
company.
That's a pretty good team. They will make your team.
I heard
Tim
Costco is
Tebow,
going to get
wonderful
rid of
fight, Charlie
memberships,
Ward,
which would be
Silva.
terrible. I
This
hope they never
incredible
do
group
that
developed a strong
because
set
that
of
keeps the ghetto
recommendations, and my
out.
administration is committed to
Otherwise,
working
it'll
with
turn into
Congress to get
Walmart.
them through. I signed an executive order
You don't want those
instituting
people there.
those
Just charge a
recommendations, and it's gonna
small
clean it up
fee
a long way.
and you
It's gonna
keep
take a
out the
long way.
riffraff.
75% of Olympians competing for Team USA played as college
And then
athletes, and
Costco, I didn't even know this till I
rules
went
straighten
there
up. There's
before
gonna
10
be an
a.m.
Olympic team
You know, they have
because you
executive
so many of these sports,
memberships for
especially
really
certain
exclusive
sports
time.
where
Before 10
it's
a.m.,
like
it's
the minor
only
leagues, you can
for,
call it the major leagues, you
I
can
think,
call it
probably
what you want, but
$100
we
a year
train
members.
unbelievable athletes to go in and win the gold medal. And
So
without
you can
college
shop in
sports,
peace without the
your ability
riffraff
to go
like
into
me.
college sports and compete and learn really how to play and get better,
Get good
we're not gonna have
parking and
much of
stuff.
an Olympic team anymore. Many of America's greatest CEOs and entrepreneurs
Exclusivity
learned
is
discipline,
good.
courage, and
We
drive
like paying to
through
go there
playing sports
because
in
you save
college.
plenty of
And
money.
I loved sports. I mean, I was so helpful.
Oh, I get a
by
free
sports.
membership actually
Saving this tradition
because
is
I'm
not
an
only a
because
matter
I'm
of
a
fairness and
platinum
sportsmanship,
for the
it's a
company I
matter of
work
national
for.
pride and national greatness indeed. All
I've
of
made
you
it
have
all the way
battled
up
your
to
way to
platinum
the absolute
status,
top in sports, and now you have a
which you would think would
administration
be
that's
good.
fighting just as hard for you as you fight for our country, and you have fought for our country. So I want to congratulate you. You know, you're a group of real champions.
Don't know
I
if
what
he's
it
going
is
to get to
win
it
in
or not.
sports and win in life, but
You don't have
winning in
Costco,
sports is,
Gina?
I always say it's
It's a shame.
microcosm of
It's
life.
cheap.
The beautiful
It's
thing, you
really
know,
a
in
good
2
place to
hours, and
shop.
you know, in a season, how
And you can
are.
get some
In life,
groceries
sometimes you
there.
have to go a lot
I
of
get
years before you can get
eggs
very well.
there, super
But I have to
cheap.
say, you are
Organic too.
unbelievable champions.
I
I
get bread
admire and
there,
respect all of you, and it's an honor to have
which
you in the White
is,
House.
do you
You'll
guys
come
have this
back,
bread? San
and
Louis
who knows,
sourdough?
you might,
Is
one of
that
you or two of
worldwide?
you or
It's from
three of
our
you,
hometown here. It's
Susie, what do you think,
not
might come
hometown.
back
It's from
as
the town I live in.
me.
The
You
factory's
don't
right
want
down the
that. I
street.
don't think you want that. I
San
know,
Louis
but it's not
sourdough. Do you
worth
guys have that?
But
They
it's
sell
an
it at
honor
my
to have you here,
Costco.
and
I don't know if it's just
congratulations.
low
And
because
here we
it's
have some
local or
beautiful
not.
trophies, as you see.
It's cheap.
And
Get 2
we're going
loaves
to
of
be giving
bread for
things
like
out, and we're
$6
gonna be
or
seeing maybe
something.
some of you later. You're going to hang around and enjoy the White House for a little bit. And thank you very much for being here.
Organic
Appreciate it.
ground
Thank you
beef
very
is
much,
cheap.
everybody.
Oh no, he's not gonna. Oh, keep on fighting till the end. It's kind of a sad rendition of "We Are the Champions," isn't it? No time for losers. All right. Let's just give you guys a few things. That was useless, huh? Sorry for wasting your time. Trump. I'll show you how ridiculous things got. And then if you like cheap food, you can get $1.50 hot dog and a Coke too, or Pepsi actually. This is how ridiculous things got because people believe Trump because people are actually retarded, including almost all investors. They actually believed there was going to be a deal because Trump and the lying media seemed to say there was going to be a deal. Polymarket, and people quote this and they're like, Trump won. So I'm sure this is down now. People said there was a 65% chance Iran agrees to surrender its enriched uranium stockpile this year. That got up to 65% chance. I wonder what the odds are now on Polymarket for everything. I'm sure they're changing now. I would have bet on Polymarket too, but I already have enough wagering going on. Let's see. U.S. permanent peace deal. Buy. Can I see the charts for this? I think these. Stop. Get out of my face. Get out of my face, fly. Exit page. Let's try to reload it. Permanent peace deal by April 30th is at 26%. Still 26%. I mean, that's an easy one. That's not going to happen. May 31st is 53%. June is 66%. Exit page. Now let's see what else you can bet on. Nuclear stockpile. Iran said it's like giving up their soil. Iran compared it to their soil. That's what they said. I don't know. I've been listening to them the whole time. People have been saying I'm stupid on the internet, at least. Not about me directly, but anybody who believes the Iranians is dumb, apparently. That's what people have been saying. But they said they weren't going to go to talks. And even though every single person said they were going to the talks, they said in the end, they're not going to the stupid talks. So they are in now a total position of strength, total dominance over America. They got America to agree not to attack without Iran agreeing to anything. I mean, think about it. Iran didn't have to agree to anything. And now they have an indefinite period of time to do whatever they want. And we said we won't attack them. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's a pretty big L, I would say. I'm sure I don't know how people are going to spin this one. Trump put himself into an impossible position by doing the blockade, for one thing. A blockade, if it's going to work, would take months. JD Vance apparently said that the blockade would make them surrender in a few days. Blockades take a long time to work if we even do them right. Iran's still sending ships through anyway. They keep saying there are ships going through the blockade. Iran has refrained from attacking our ships so far, which are now in range, which they might just start doing. In less than 3 hours, they have the opportunity without breaking any rules or anything. The straits closed. No demands there. The straits closed. Iran didn't agree to a ceasefire. And that's it. We just said we're not going to attack them. So that they can take a little longer to submit a proposal, supposedly, because their government's fractured, supposedly. Don't know. Seems pretty relatively unified. There might be some disagreements, but if it was really fractured, then people would have shown up to the talks, but they didn't. Let's see. Oh, this page is dead. It's not working. So what do you guys think is going to happen next? I am a doomer. I'm hoping for chaos and destruction. But that's only because I have wagers that pay well if that happens. So it's unfortunate. Having an incentive to think a certain way makes you think a certain way. That's the problem. People who own stocks and want the stock market to go up are going to think about things that mean the stock market is going to go up. That's all. So their mind isn't completely clear to think about reality. And for me, I want the stock market to go down so I can get paid. And so I naturally think of things in an overly pessimistic way where things are about to get worse every single day. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been proven catastrophically wrong. But now things might turn a little bit. Stock market went down 2 days in a row for once. Oil went up 2 days in a row. Pretty significantly today, really, when you think about it. The moment the first attack happens from Iran, things will go south in a hurry. And in any case, it's basically totally it's almost guaranteed now that there's going to be an energy crisis. The Strait of Hormuz had to open. That's all. For the price of oil to be correct, the Strait of Hormuz had to open. The price of oil has been held down artificially by Trump and compliant media, saying that the war was about to be over. It's only $90 a barrel. It's been there for a month or something. It got up to around 120 before the first ceasefire. And then before the last crash, it was around, I don't know, 92 or something. It's almost back to that. But some people are paying $200 a barrel for oil to get it now. And it's not going to be easier to get now indefinitely. And we're a long way into it. There's been something like 1 billion barrels of oil missing. The United States doesn't have extra oil. The United States is doing something very dumb and selling all their oil for cheap when we should actually be banning exports. Just like some other countries are doing. We should actually be banning exports of oil. We shouldn't be exporting it, not at these prices, because we're going to need it later. We're just drawing down on our reserves. A lot of people think, oh, it's okay. Everybody will just buy oil from us. We don't have extra oil. We use it all. And we import some, especially in California. So selling all of it now, especially we're selling a lot of diesel. We're going to have shortages here now because of this stupid policy. I'm sure everybody else is like, oh, thank you so much for selling us oil cheap. We're just screwing ourselves. So there's going to be oil shortages, airplane carriers are screwed. There's not going to be, you won't be able to travel anywhere this summer. There's no jet fuel. So I have to travel somewhere in June. I haven't even booked my tickets. I hear they're already expensive because diesel and jet fuel are way, way up, like 100%. Jet fuel is way up. One airline is about to go out of business. They want a bailout from the government. So we're going to have to, so the costs of the war also keep going up. The UAE says they need a bailout, and we're apparently thinking about giving it to them. Airlines are going to need bailouts. We're like just at the beginning. It's all been artificially manipulated just to get to this point, basically, without too much destruction. Like just to get to now, without oil prices getting too high, we've taken extraordinary measures. But we can't do it for much longer. the shit's going to hit the fan. We've made it worse by delaying the outcome because we need demand destruction. Like people need to stop using, people need to stop driving. And the way to make people do that normally is by the price of oil going up. But because the price of oil hasn't been allowed to go up, demand has stayed the same. Well, we need to decrease consumption rapidly. So by delaying the inevitable, we've made the outcome much, much worse. We'll have shortages here. And, you know, Trump says we don't have plenty of oil. We're selling it all. We use all of it and then some. All the oil we dig up, we use here domestically and then some. And prices aren't that high. $4 isn't that bad. I mean, here it's a lot more than that. The White House was bragging today about how gas prices went down over the last 8 days. I guess they went down like maybe 10 cents. I think gas prices went down 10 cents because of just lying, pretty much. Saying the war was over, saying we won. So now when shit hits the fan, it hits the fan harder and messier. So I wouldn't be surprised. The rest of this week could be really brutal. Even with Iran not attacking, people are going to figure it out. But Iran will appear weak if they don't strike, basically. There are people like the people protesting in the streets of Iran who support the government don't want the government to capitulate. Those are the people, those people were protesting on the street saying, don't go to negotiations. Those people are saying, don't give up our nuclear material. The people of Iran, that's the problem. Their government can't capitulate to us like Trump wants them to and expects them to, because then their people that support them now will turn on them. The people of Iran don't want a deal. The people of Iran want to fight. That's like the people that go into the streets, maybe not all of them, but the people that are allowed to go in the streets and protest, the people who support the regime, which is a lot of them, they want to fight. If we don't come to their terms, basically. Alan Barker, you mentioned, yeah, and then besides that, yeah, a bunch of if I was a conspiracy theorist, a bunch of oil refineries around the world have been blowing up. And Ukraine's been hitting Russia's refineries. So even without the Strait of Hormuz being closed, a lot of oil has gone offline. It's really bad. So 30 minutes, market's open again. We'll see what the reaction is, but I don't think it's going to be good. This isn't a good outcome. This isn't the outcome everybody was buying stocks to get, basically. Even if Iran doesn't attack, which they might not, this isn't a good outcome for anybody because the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, basically. Trump, because he saw this coming, Trump enacted the Defense Production Act, which makes oil producers, which like removes restrictions and forces oil producers to make more oil. And I think opens up a pipeline in California or something. But Trump is preparing, at least. He knew he was lying. Here I have video. Trump has been ridiculous. Hold on. Here's some video for you guys. This is relevant now. Yeah, Amish are looking pretty good right now. I agree. Amish have been prepared for this for a long time. They don't even use gas. They use horses. Genius. No, they've been ready for this forever. Their way of life doesn't change. Although they sell a lot of furniture and consumer, like I'm short consumer stocks, and those are going to go down because people will have less money to spend. So actually the Amish will still be affected because they've kind of had to integrate into our bullshit economy too by selling their furniture and stuff. That's the main thing they do for money. So the Amish will also be affected, but not nearly as much. And I'm prepared for it. I have an electric bike. I deliver food on an electric bike. So, and I have a car with a battery, a plug-in hybrid. So I can, which I hardly ever drive now, but when I drive, I can do it under battery power, which is way cheaper than gas. Gas went down from the peak here, 20 cents at my local gas station. Didn't go down a penny after the latest declaration, or after the Strait of Hormuz was open for 2 seconds. It's $5.39 a gallon at the cheapest local gas station. $5.39 a gallon here in California. I'm expecting $7 at my local station. I'm expecting $7 eventually at my local station.
It's going to be finished pretty quickly. I do see a deal in around, could be soon. We are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over. I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon. It's going to be finished pretty quickly.
Okay. They don't have the dates on there. First one was March 9th. March 9th. That was one of the first times he said it was almost over. He gave a speech on April 1st saying it would be 2 or 3 weeks. Now he's comparing it to Vietnam. So it's bad. Now he's comparing it to every other war in history. Saying, oh no, I can't believe people are so mad that it's only been, what is it now? 6 weeks? 7 weeks? I guess it's been a full 7 weeks now. He said it'd be over in 4 to 6 weeks. And everybody's like, hey, this can't go on. But mostly because it's unprecedented. In this case, having this major trade route blocked. It can't go on any longer. We've reached the breaking point for that. So he kept saying it's over. It's going to be over. He did it 1,000,000 times. But it's not over. It's not over until Iran says it's over, I guess. And we just agreed to that. So a huge, like I said, a huge loss. Here he is saying that how long every war lasted in this Truth Social post. World War I was 4 years. Korean War was 3 years. Vietnam War was 19 years. He said, I'm not going to let them rush the United States into making a deal that is not as good as it could have been. See, he was already projecting this, if you could read between the lines, which is kind of what I've been doing on this show. He was already projecting that there wasn't going to be a deal anytime soon, while saying explicitly that there would be a deal, that they already agreed to a deal. He says he's under no pressure to do a deal. He's under a great deal of pressure to open the Strait of Hormuz because the global economy is on the brink. On the brink. So let's let me just play some more clips while we're here. I don't think I'll get to 3 o'clock to see what happens when things open up again for trading. think people will digest this news. It's just bad news. That's all. The only thing that matters in this whole conflict is the Strait of Hormuz. And people must be pissed at Donald Trump that he wouldn't lift the blockade. That's all Iran was asking for to do the talks, was to lift the blockade, which Trump pretty much came up with after reading an article about it. I think in Just the News, I'm pretty sure. He posted on True Social an article that said we should do a blockade. And then he did a blockade. And they say it was all his idea. Looks like somebody wrote an article that was like, we should do a blockade. That'll work. Okay, here's the deal with the blockade. It does, if it's successful, which apparently it isn't, apparently ships are still going around it still. And I believe that. Like ship tracking tracks ships that have gone around it. The United States has turned back a number of ships and then they shot at that one ship and stopped it. But actually a bunch of ships have still gone through. But if it worked, then Iran would have to, instead of you have to keep your wells running, because when you shut it down, then it takes a long, long time, I guess, to restart production of oil. This is the deal with the blockade. I'll try to explain it to you in the way I understand it. It's not necessarily bad that they can't sell oil right away. What would be bad is if they have to stop producing oil, because as long as they can produce oil, they can sell it later. Right? So apparently the deal with the blockade is they are going to fill up their storage tanks. So they're going to keep pumping oil at the same rate, or they can even slow down a little bit to extend how long they can fill up their storage tanks. But it's been reported that at the current rate they pump oil, like I said, it doesn't matter if they can keep pumping oil and producing oil, they can sell it eventually. So the blockade only matters if they have to shut down production. And apparently at the current rate, they still have 2 months of storage facilities left. So they can extend at the current rate of production for a full 2 months, which if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed for 2 months, $200 oil, pretty much. Some places say it'll get up to like 110 or something. It's ridiculous. Some of the predictions are insane. They're like, oh, if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed another month, it'll get to 110. Could get to 110 tomorrow. It had already gotten to 120. But if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed for another 2 months and we just have a blockade, it doesn't really hurt Iran for at least 2 months, and they can slow down production modestly and extend that to 3 months, apparently. And 3 months, like everybody's, like the whole global economy is on its knees, 100%, from what I understand. And maybe I listen to panicans and stuff, and I am a panican. But from what I understand, we're already fucked. If the Strait of Hormuz had opened today, we're already fucked because we lost 1 billion barrels, which will never be replaced. But if it goes on longer, every single day gets worse and worse and worse. And once again, the price of oil went up 4 or 5% yesterday, almost 4% today. If it just keeps going up like that every day. Yeah, some of the projections by international organizations are kind of ridiculous. They're like, oh, if the Strait stays closed, oil will get up to $110 or $120. It's like it's already selling for $150 to get oil right away. So how are you going to say it's only going to get to 110? And they're like, inflation will go to a certain amount. Here, I'll show you Kevin Hassett. This is just from the other day.
So if you remove the overhang, or at least keep people updated, my point was that there must be some underlying fundamentals that you would point to that were, whether it's corporate profits, whether it's margins. I mean, I'm amazed at how well behaved the bond market has been. The 10-year staying right around in a
total catastrophe. Bond market meltdown, sovereign debt crisis. Like literally everything's on the table. Yeah, bond yields were up again today. People have all been surprised. Trump is surprised. He did an interview this morning on CNBC. He was like, oh yeah, oil was supposed to be way up. He knows. It's like oil was supposed to be way higher than it is now. Stocks are supposed to be way lower than they are now. Well, he managed, like we won. Until today, we won. Because it was because in the information warfare game, we won until today. We extended the time available to us to keep pressing the issue by keeping the stock market up and keeping oil down. We won. Like Iran would threaten to close the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. No matter what Iran did, nobody believed them. No matter what they said about this meeting not taking place, nobody believed them. It was kind of crazy to me. Like I was listening to a show and it was like, oh yeah, we don't know if they agreed to go to the meeting or not. I was like, no, they said they're not going to go. It was starting to make me kind of insane. I was like, they said they're not going to go to the meeting. I don't think they're going to go to the meeting. And everybody said, no, they're going to the meeting. Oh yeah, they're going to the meeting for sure. They're just saying that. I was like, really? Officially, like from their official accounts, they're saying we're not going to negotiate and that they're going to go negotiate. Won't their people be pissed at them if they don't follow through on their word? People in Iran were starting to get pissed off. Like the guy that said the strait was open, Iranians were pissed because it's a win for us, for Trump, us or whatever. That was a huge win for Trump. Iranians were really pissed. They were like, oh, this guy should have been impeached normally.
range in spite of a lot of different concerns about debt and inflation and everything else.
Well, as you know, that we've had 2 earnings seasons in a row where basically everything's surprising on the upside. That's happening because the golden age that President Trump promised is starting to be very visible in the profit data, but also more importantly in the wage data. If you're a person who has a job where you're making tips, or you're making overtime, or you're a retiree who thought that Social Security wasn't what you expected, you need to make some more money, all of you got huge tax breaks in the $4,000 to $7,000 range because of the big, beautiful bill. And so I think that with strong domestic economy, then the question is there something about the foreign relations that could upset that? And first, the U.S. economy is the engine of global growth. And so a strong U.S. economy is a super positive, despite what's going on in the Gulf. But also, once this is resolved, think about how much energy production in the Gulf area has been depressed over time because of the huge risk premium associated with Iranian misbehavior. And so once this thing is done, think about the explosion in new energy production that could happen in the Middle East, driving prices way, way down over time, including in the U.S. The final thing I could say is that if you look at the ship traffic data, it's kind of like every empty vessel on Earth is headed towards the U.S. to fill up with oil right now. So the U.S. is the biggest oil producer on Earth, and the capacity that we have to meet the demand of people who are stuck in that picture that you're showing, I think is a positive surprise for markets.
You know, Kevin,
We're selling all of our oil. We're going to need it. Oh God, these guys have been so delusional. They've been promising us a golden age and everything. Wow. Well, let's see. None of that stuff matters if oil is $150. they were posting stuff like this. Oh, they posted something that said trust Trump today. I mean, there's all this stuff. Just here's what the Department of War posted, locked in, and then the White House also posted this one Monday. Locked in mode activated. It's Monday, no excuses, just wins. Wow. We just took a massive loss. The pressure didn't work. The blockade didn't work. The angry tweets didn't work. The bridges and power plants didn't work. Nothing we could do brought them to the table. No matter how much we say we're winning, no matter how much we say Iran is begging for a deal. Well, obviously we lied. We just completely lied, along with our media. And now everybody who bought stocks, everybody who said it's going to be like, I kind of feel sorry for them, but then I kind of want to see them suffer too. So, because everybody on the other side's been losing money during this like fake stock market pump. But the stock market went up, like the NASDAQ went up like what, 15% in a couple of weeks. It can unwind that pretty fast. Because once bonds sell off, then interest rates go up and all these companies have to borrow money to buy things. Everybody has to borrow money. When interest rates go up, corporate margins go down. And interest rates have to go up if we have massive inflation from oil prices going up. It's what my entire thesis was built on. My entire thesis. I was like, oh, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed for a long time. That's what I thought. And pretty early on, I was like, this isn't going to end well. Well, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed with no timeline for it to open. And we might be back at war soon, assuming Iran follows through on any of their threats. Iran threatened to turn it into a global war this time. So let's see. 10 minutes. 10 minutes and we'll see what happens. I think oil's going higher. I actually think stocks will go lower, even though there's supposedly a ceasefire. Just question is how much. We'll see. But I don't think it's good from here on out. Don't think it's going to be good. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the show. That's the latest news. One-sided ceasefire. One-sided ceasefire. The ceasefire expires officially in 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Futures markets open in 9 minutes. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Good seeing you guys. We'll see you at the next one. All right. For now, that's what it is.